The Sims 4 is getting a huge update this Tuesday, January 13th, with over 80 updates in the next laundry list hotfix patch. But it might not be what you think. Let's get into it. Welcome back, cuties. If you're new here, hi, I'm Christy. Welcome to the Cozy Cutie Club. I make cozy Sims 4 videos to enhance your gameplay, including everything from mods and CC, my favorite, to tips, tricks, and a whole lot of chaos. If you're new here and you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. So if you have been following, the Sims 4 team has been releasing laundry list hotfix patches since late last year. I want to say maybe October, November. This is going to be the third one in the series, if we can call it. I am going to speed run through these. We're going to get right into it. So if you want to know everything that's coming in the next update, keep watching. You can even listen while you do, your chores, your little adulting things, okay? I'm trying to make it easy for you so you can get the latest in the Sims world without having to sit and read through the entire laundry list. I'll list them all quickly and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. There are quite a few that are a little redundant for me to read individually, and you'll see why at the end of the video when I kind of get into explaining it. But basically, the majority of the updates in this are related to sorting fixes. So I'm not going to read each and every individual line. Also, if you see me looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at my other monitor. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. The top 5 most voted fixes. I would assume in order of votes, but it does not specify that. We address the top reported issue, server error while uploading to gallery or library. This was primarily a console issue, but could occur with PC. Base game. Parentheses, not quotations. This error is a valid error that should occur under certain circumstances, but we fix the flow so that it is more forgiving to player systems and far less likely to occur. The upload button will not be available until all thumbnail issues have been generated. When this error does occur, we have updated the generic server error message, and players will now receive a dialog that provides more information and says, time out during upload. Please check internet connection to try again in a minute. The second most voted fix. In our 12/2/25 update, we fix an issue where child, teen, young adult, and elder Sims no longer had clothing visible under their privacy mosaic. We are now addressing this issue for the remaining age groups, fully resolving the issue. This is also base game. Number 3, we fixed a notable instance of Sims standing around and not caring for their infants. Sorry, I couldn't hold that one back. While holding infants, Sims were playing an idle animation that delayed responsiveness to cued interactions. This idle was removed. We hope to further address additional infant issues in future updates. Also base game. Number 4, we fixed an issue where memorial portraits and graduation photos would no longer display a Sims image and appear blank. This fix does not address portraits and photos that were already broken. Will work on old saves for future gameplay with these objects. This is University and Life and Death. Number 5, household, small business employed Sims will no longer receive a Miss Work School UI pop-up when opening a small business while the Sim is at the work school rabbit hole. This relates to multiple packs. So we did the top 5 just now. Now we're going into a save corruption category, which only has 2. And this is, we fixed an issue where open street objects were being shelved and never removed when traveling to an apartment building. Multiple packs. The second one is, we fixed a case of save corruption where the player could become stuck in an endless load or be returned to manage world after setting a custom venue schedule to include a romantic orientation role criteria. This is for Adventure Awaits. And then we go on to the next category, which is photos and paintings losing data. They mentioned that they wanted to address as many bugs in this category as they could. So here are the 6 issues related to photos and paintings losing data. Paint by reference paintings will no longer turn white after they've been put in a Sims inventory and the game has been relaunched. This fix is retroactive and should be fixed in previous saves where it occurred. This is base game. Photos captured with phone camera turn will no longer turn... That's a typo. Let me fix it. Photos captured with phone camera will no longer turn black once they've been mounted on a wall and the game is relaunched. This fix is not retroactive and will not address instances where photos were already missing data, but the fix will prevent this from happening in the future. This is related to base game. Photos captured with phone camera will no longer turn black once they've been put in Sims inventory or placed in storage chests and the game is relaunched. This fix is not retroactive and will not address instances where photos were already missing data, but the fix will prevent this from happening in the future, even in old saves. That one's kind of like a little redundant. Is that not the same thing that I just read? Oh, no, it's because it's related to storage chests. I wish they would have just put that in the same bullet point, but that's fine. The create copy interaction on a painting no longer will result in a blank white painting canvas when placed on the wall. This fix is retroactive and should be fixed in previous saves where it occurred. This is related to base game. Celebrity autographs will no longer appear blank after they've been hung on a wall and the game is relaunched. The fix is not retroactive and will not address instances where photos were already missing data. But this fix will prevent this from happening in the future, even in old saves. I feel like a broken record. I think there was a way to make this more concise, Sims team. I'm I'm just saying. And the last one related to photos and paintings losing data is, as noted above in the top 5 fixes, we fix an issue. But this is the one we just went through, the memorial portraits and the graduation photos. Okay. Oh, all right. Next. This next section is titled Now Available CAS Items. So these are items that were being hidden from players accidentally, and now we have them available for us to use. So I guess they count as new items for us. The first one is this hair from Adventure Awaits. It's like the 2 French braids with the little like tendrils hanging out, a little messy look. The next one is this rash guard set. That's what it says in the copy. The navy variant is no longer missing. This is also Adventure Awaits. Then we have the medium bangs hair in all variants, now available for Child Sims. This is for Horse Ranch. And then the last one is, while investigating an issue with the toddler makeup category, they discovered that the face paint, the floral face paint asset was hidden, and they unlocked it for us to use. And this is related to Enchanted by Nature. All right. And then we have the general bug fixes category. They separated these into content, like base game, seasons, etc. The first section is base game. We addressed a rather significant issue where away actions at work were causing Sims to never receive need gains while at work or school due to a change that was made during Adventure Awaits to how away actions at work function. We fixed an additional bug pertaining to this where toddler and infant needs will now increase while at daycare properly. Bladder, hunger, energy, and attention should receive large increases. Fun, a small but tapering increase, and hygiene, no increase. The only other fix for base game only was that we addressed an issue where the fight interaction was available on all Sims, even if they had a positive relationship. Now it should only appear if the Sims have a negative relationship. Moving on to seasons. Sims will no longer sometimes die of overheating while wearing the correct clothing. Blame the ghost. This bug was due to the overheating ghost type and the R they emanate. In a previous patch, we addressed an issue where sand sculptures were auto-generating on beaches when it rained a lot. We're submitting the remaining portions of this fix to ensure it's now fully fixed in all cases. You know, sometimes I feel like they had multiple different people write these because they changed like tense, they changed structure and format. I just don't get it. The next section is growing together, which only has one bug fix. It says, we've addressed an issue where it was difficult to unlock the pull to stand milestone. The problem is that infants need to be near certain specific objects to pull themselves up for the first time, but this is never indicated to the player, and sometimes infants aren't located near these objects. They can still unlock this milestone as they could previously, but to address the concerns with this not being obvious in many cases, we've added a grayed out interaction and hover tip that directs the player to place the infant in the crib. While in the crib, the infant can pull themselves to a stand, and as an additional option, we've added a new interaction to infant Sims in the crib to pull themselves up once they are ready to unlock the milestone. This interaction is available on the infant Sim when the infant is the active Sim. And then they include a screenshot below, which I think was very nice because otherwise that would have been a lot to try and put together without having that context. Businesses and hobbies also has one bug fix. We fixed an issue where small business employees were leaving early, only 2 to 3 hours after opening. If a business was 5-star and selected customer criteria was supervised customer only. Now all hired employees should stay on a small business lot while it is open. Next, we have Adventure Awaits with 3 bug fixes. Neck tee no longer has a visible seam on the shoulder when worn by Sims downloaded from the gallery. Imaginary friends will no longer reset and disappear from the relationship panel after returning from another lot. And custom venues will now save roles and schedules with a custom role containing a romantic orientation criteria. This issue was resulting in a case of save corruption as well. That was addressed and is noted above in that section. Seems like the romantic orientation criteria was breaking more than just one thing. Next, we have werewolves. We fixed an issue where werewolf offspring of werewolves had black textures and no pelts upon aging to teen. Our fix should apply a texture to any werewolf Sim who is lacking one upon entering CAS and should address old instances of this occurring. And then they have a section that's titled multiple, which I'm assuming means it is affecting multiple packs. They don't specify per each bullet point, but the first one is we fix all reports of the camera being obstructed by trees in gallery preview views of lots. I did see this one on Instagram because they like highlighted this one specifically. I know for sure it's happening. They fixed it like in Brindleton Bay. I don't know what other world this happens in, to be honest. The second one is maids and butlers will now once again try to mop puddles instead of vacuuming them fruitlessly for hours. We assure you that we're trying their best and we appreciate your patience with them. Okay, and then we have come to the last category, which is CAS and build mode tagging updates. And this is what I was referencing at the beginning of the video, where these are where the majority of the updates are coming from in this patch. So I'm only going to read the updates that are related to either having a new object or an object gaining new functionality, which are few, and then we'll get into my thoughts. So for base game, the lump of clay now sorts as a kid activity and also sorts in the creative skills section. It has also been updated to provide creativity skill gain for children's Sims, which is kind of cool. And then I'm going to skip all of these because these are all just sorts updates. For cats and dogs, the stack of books object now sorts as a bookshelf and is also now functional as a bookshelf. We love a new bookshelf. Skipping all of these, no new functionality here. That might actually be the last one. So my thoughts. I did count, and 60 of the 80 something updates are just related to objects being sorted. So just to elaborate on what I mean when I say that, honestly, it feels like they did something that they should have done in like a quality assurance stage of these things being released. But I get it. Things fall through the cracks. We're only human. Mistakes are made. But a lot of things were either not showing up in the proper category, like in CAS, if it should have been listed under like hot weather, if you're using that filter, things like that. And then in build and buy, if you know you're looking through lights, for example, and you don't see one of the lights listed in that category, it's unclear to me whether that means that some of this stuff was just not visible at all. However, I don't think so, because they specifically called out like I think it was 4 or 5 things that were now available to us. And that makes me think like the rest of the updates they made regarding sorting are just purely sorting and not visibility. I didn't like cross-reference to see like, hey, was this already in my game or whatever. I feel like this is nice. This is like a nice thorough thing for them to do. Do I feel like the majority of the community cares about this? I can only speak for myself. I would guess that we don't care about not being able to see a specific object when using a certain filter. As long as we have access to the object, I don't think that most people would care. I could be wrong. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you're like, actually, Christy, I really disagree with you. Here's why. Feel free, go off. Okay, go off, queen. Tell me in the comments. But for them to I think release a hotfix patch, and really there's only like 20 concrete, like impactful updates, feels like a shortcut, like a little cheap. I think this could have been for a couple different reasons. I think this could have been because we just had like 2 months of kind of like holiday season, right? We had November and December, which all have a lot of huge holidays, and I can see how that impacted the amount of things that they were able to fix. I don't know how long they've been working on this specific patch, so like it could very well be that they have been working on this for much longer than that, but perhaps not. I don't know how far in advance they're working. And then another factor could be that they had to, you know, shift focus to like other things. I can't really think of anything huge that was released in the past 2 months, but maybe there's something that's going to be released soon, which I did hear. You didn't hear from me, but I saw a leak that apparently we're getting a royalty pack. So maybe that's something that has been taking a lot of time. Who knows? We don't really have like any confirmed details on that. Okay, don't quote me, but I saw it from, I think it was a Sims community that posted about it. That being said, I think the painting and photo updates are impactful. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. I personally have not been having a lot of issues related to like photos I'm taking or paintings I'm making. It doesn't feel impactful for me, but I know for those that it was affecting, it's a big deal. I know a lot of people like to document their families and their households and, you know, frame things and do photo shoots, part of their storytelling. So I can see that being a big deal. And I personally love seeing the paintings that my Sims make. So I would be very upset if they were constantly like turning blank or black or white or whatever the case. I think save corruption is a big deal. That's like a huge obstacle to being able to play the game. I absolutely despise when a save of mine gets corrupted, or if I like lose a ton of progress in a household. That alone will like put me off from playing The Sims for like weeks, because I get really pissed off. My number one thing that I am so happy they fixed is the idling related to infants. I don't know exactly how this works. I'm not a programmer, okay? Not a coder. However, it seems to me from a player's perspective that a lot of the lag and issues and frustration surrounding infants is that Sims are always idling. Like they just freeze. They like get stuck and you have to like reset them by holding shift and clicking, or you like cancel the action and hope that they'll wake up. Like what are you doing? But if this is the core of all of those moments, there could be other things happening, so I don't know. But if this is the core, we should see a huge improvement in the way that Sims interact with infants. I really hope so. The pull to stand, I'm really glad that they went out of their way. Like, they went so far as to add an interaction that we can use. And I think that that is a nice quality of life update. I wish we would get more updates like that, but I can see how that's a big ask. So I'll take what I can get. Okay, Sims team, I'll take it. I also did see a console related update, so that's really nice. I know console players often feel neglected, rightfully so. And so I'm sure that a lot of console players will be happy to see that. And obviously there were a decent amount of bugs related to businesses, which is kind of weird to me. There was also a few related to Adventure Awaits, and like choosing like the custom roles and the romantic orientation as it relates to that. Very happy to see those fixes as well. I honestly have not played a lot with business lots and small businesses, not yet, at least. In my Very Veggie Legacy Challenge, we do have to start a small business, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. In case you want to check it out, there's a card. I'll link it somewhere here in case you want to watch that playthrough. I think that covers everything. Please keep an eye out. Remember, a big update means you got to update your mods. Some things might break, so definitely recommend if you need help fixing your mods. I do have a video on that. It's also going to be somewhere on the screen. There are a lot of good resources in that video, even if you don't watch the video, but literally just click on the video, go to the description and click on the link like to Scarlet's Realm and a few other ones that I included, just so that you can see which mods have broken. Aside from that, let me know if you want to see more news coverage related to The Sims 4. Feel free to let me know which update you felt was most impactful or is going to be most impactful for you. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, please like, subscribe. It helps other people see this video too, like you, and we can grow a cozy community that way. Okay, thanks. Bye.